All right, we're back. I tried to scale it down. Let's see how that is working. YouTube is telling me the stream is healthy. I hope that's the case. Oh yeah, this is a lot better. I hope you see better frames. Please get some comments in. No, I'm not using dial-up internet. We actually have Fire internet, which is actually really fast, 1 gigabit up and down. So it's not the internet connection. I think it has to do with YouTube and what they take from the stream. We try to make it faster, but it doesn't quite work. So yeah, 4K is not an option. This is HD now. I think, is it better? Way better? Awesome, guys. Okay, good. Let's get ready and roll. So as I mentioned, we acquired a blacktieguide.com and implemented it into the Gentleman's Gazette. It's a lot easier to maintain it that way for us. One of the things we do, we have a cool glossary now. So you can go here and basically you can just, click and it gets you right where you want to be. We also added a lot of pictures, large pictures, because they used to be really small. And then the other cool thing is you can just click within the definitions to kind of jump around in the glossary itself or to other articles that give you more in-depth information about the topic. Yeah, so really proud of that. Took me a lot of time. Then the next thing we can do, let's go back to the Black Tie Guide, or let's just go back here basically. Okay, this is the glossary, and next one is the section on etiquette. We also put in, as you can see on the side here, a little, these are all the headings, so you can just click and you will find this on every page. On mobile, sometimes we have to kind of remove it since it's too much. But then you basically, up here, you can just flip between the pages. Down here, you can go to an article itself. So it's pretty cool. You can just go up and down. You can scroll up. Up here, we just get you to new areas, basically. So we have the black tie etiquette, everything you ever wanted to know about that. Tuxedo history, quite extensive through the decades. And we'll even add more stuff to that. Then classic black tie, that's probably going to be the most helpful for most of you. And it has the same structure as it had before. We just made minor changes. The supplemental is now called advanced, because we felt it was a better term with a better meaning. And we redirected the pages over. We added more pages, and we will continue to add more. So it's a pretty cool guide. We also added this white tie section, optimized that. That's obviously only for people who are really into very formal dress codes. Vintage also has a tons more pictures that are super interesting. So I suggest you check all that out. And it's just a lot of fun to go through. It's approximately over 100,000 words, which is quite a bit. So take your time over the holidays, and if you want to read something about it, we try to make it as comprehensive as possible. If you have suggestions, let us know. And now I'll open up questions here about black tie. Lovely sweater. Well, thank you. That's awesome. What else is important to you besides the content of this channel? Well, there's a lot of things. I like to travel, but in order to not go overboard here today, let's maybe keep it about the Black Tie Guide. Let's keep it about YouTube and what you would like to see from us going forward. If you have feedback, you look like a vampire in the pic on that website. Actually, we have there's some pictures in there about Dracula. I think they're in the vintage section. It's quite funny. Let me see here if I can find it quickly. Dracula white tie. Yeah, it was this one. So this was the old post on the Black Tie Guide. We're still working on redirecting it. It's kind of a soft launch, but if you look at this person, you can see he was wearing a white tie, and it's quite similar to what I wear. But when you wear a black tie or white tie, it's a very defined dress code, so you all look very similar. Yeah. When are you doing a hair product segment? Well, we did a few. I think there are a few on the list. And as you might wonder, like we usually film ahead. So by the time you see a video, we already have like 30 others just in the queue. So that just helps us to basically stay on track and make sure we can launch a video every Monday and Friday. We may change that. We actually may add another day in the new year. But that means, we have to create even more videos ahead. So with Preston here now, that'll help. And we're also trying to bring on a few more people on board. We're onboarding them right now. We'll still have to see how they work out. But going forward, you'll see more different faces on the Gentleman's Gazette YouTube channel. Yes, you'll still see me, but the idea is that if we want to scale and we want to have more products, I need to focus my time on things that I can't outsource, right? So I'll focus my time on product development, coming up with the exact right designs in the looks, but also in the function. And we're also getting a stock manager for the shop. We're trying to ramp up our customer service efforts. We're hiring more reps simply because we're growing and we want to make sure we provide a very good experience. And it's always a challenge. What is the surprise? Well, the surprise is that we actually have the black tie guide now, which is a large piece of content that you can see. We also have, if you ever need it, maybe you're in a place where you are offline and you go to a wedding and you want to know what's going on, or you just need a quick kind of guide. We created this pocket guide, and you can get it for free by just putting in your name. It also signs you up to our email list, and we'll ask you about your biggest tuxedo and black tie challenges. And if you have anything to contribute, hit that contact button at the bottom here, fill out the form, let us know what you'd like to see. That is more effective than leaving comments because it's easy to kind of overlook them. How can I get your products in Argentina? We actually ship worldwide, so we ship around the world, no matter where you are, we'll get it to you. 1940s neckties. Online black tie guide and white tie guide is a very good idea. Thank you. Yes, you're welcome. Massive document. And also, if you're really interested about everything, there's a little intro, and we talk about the guide itself, what it does, how you should use it. And we'll also have a kind of explanation of the story of the black tie guide. Here, how to get the mustard guide, terminology. That's probably, when you start out, you hear a lot about, black tie, tuxedos, tailcoat. In continental Europe, you have the smoking in Germany or in France. So you really want to understand what that means. Create a little table explaining North America, Great Britain, continental Europe, black tie guide. And here's a story of the black tie guide, which is pretty cool little thing. Again, you see the entire timeline. We did like a brief version on top in case you don't want to read too much, and then the full version below. Kept everything in about, original author Peter Marshall and how it continued, because he did great legwork. We just want to continue that. Shoe maintenance. Yes. Stay tuned for the new year. We're going to do an entire series. Congratulations on 400K subscribers. Thank you. We'll do that. Advice starting on a business. Actually, I learned to love the business aspect of Gentleman's Gazette. I went to law school. I had no prior knowledge about anything business, but I really like it. At the same time, I think it's an entirely different thing, and if I would ever talk about it, I would create a separate channel, because most people are interested in clothes, don't want to start a business, and so it would just turn them away, and I don't want that. Wow. Video and tradition of men's shooting suit made out of tweed. I think we did an article about shooting suits, so maybe check that out. We'll maybe put it in our to-do list. We do an off-white linen double-breasted jacket. Okay. That's maybe okay. We have a section about the off-white dinner jacket in our classic tuxedo section. We can actually go there. go to classic. And then there's one section about the off-white dinner jacket. And there's one section about non-traditional dinner jackets. So both are acceptable and cool. And I like having something. Using linen definitely creates a lot of wrinkles. So I would only do that in a relatively casual environment. But would you then wear a black tie? That's the question. I can see it work maybe in a cruise ship or in a tropical climate. Yeah. Well, thank you for watching every day. I'm happy to reply to your comments. It's just hard to reply to everyone at once because the comments are flying in and you just have to pick some. Otherwise, we'd sit here for hours. Will you have the moire bow tie cummerbund back in stock? I think the moire single end bow tie is back in stock. I think the cummerbund is coming as well. We're trying to. Most of our black tie stuff is back in stock. We got a huge shipment. And we're gonna reorder because it's really popular during that season. So yeah, video on choosing a good tailor to make alterations. Yes, it's something I have wanted to do. We'll probably have to find a good alteration tailor locally so we actually go there. I think that's more helpful than doing it in a studio setting. When you plan about fitness for aesthetic body? Well, as you can tell, I'm not the fitness guru. I love to eat. You know, I go to the gym 2 times a week, maybe 3 times. I know some of you say you don't look like it, and that's okay. My goal in life is not to work out 24/7. I want to enjoy life, live a healthy lifestyle, which includes exercising, but it also includes the joys of life. And if I spend time in the gym, I can spend time with the people I love, like my family, my daughter, my wife. So I prefer to do that. Are you planning to open a store in Europe? Frankly, at this point, no. When I started the Gentleman's Gazette and Fort Belvedere, the product line, I just never wanted to open a store because I always felt if I was standing in a store, it was a huge waste of time because people come in and then they don't, and then they come 10 at once and then no one, and it's really hard to manage. So I think we'll only do this if we have an entire separate level of management and I don't have anything to do with standing in a store and selling. I see you like outdoor photography, like bird and wildlife photography. I like photography, not so much wildlife. I like fashion photography, or I can just appreciate a good photo. But I don't think I will just do something just about that because that's not what most people are here for. Article on silk-faced, single-breasted evening overcoat with fly front. Yes, actually we have. If you check out the vintage section or our evening outerwear section, you will see the different kind of evening overcoats. You'll also see my evening overcoat, which again is a single button overcoat with silk-faced lapels. Very rare. Usually you only find them vintage. I found mine vintage, and you have to make it bespoke probably if you want to make it work. Eating good, looking good. Yes, not yet. What is your opinion on modern fashion? It's just streetwear for oversized clothing. Yeah, not my style, not me. Love my show, awesome. What tie colors go with gray suit and white shirt? Actually, we did a whole section on that, and I think we'll do a video because it's a longer question and I want to have illustrated examples. You have available storage space in the UK. Well, thank you very much. That's good to know. Start shipping from Europe. We actually looked into that option, but as you grow a business, things like that get a lot more complicated. And if there's one thing I learned, it's always keep it simple and as simple as possible because simplicity always wins. Now, adding a warehouse in the UK or in Germany, where I'm from, which is actually located quite well because it's central, but that means there are different tax implications, right? Now in the EU, I would create a nexus, which would mean we have to have different privacy laws. All that kind of stuff comes into play, which means we have to do stuff that doesn't further the products, but it's like just stuff we have to do, we have to put money into, and that means we have to increase the prices. So the advantage we gain by actually going to Europe and having lower shipping costs is all eaten up by higher energy costs, higher storage costs, just increased logistics cost, and just compliance cost. So at this point, it just makes more sense to order from us. We have free shipping with orders over $250 worldwide. So just take that option. Tie and pockets for colors for tan and blue and sport coat. You know, these are very specific questions, and I think we have already a really good section on that. Going to New Year's party says dress code is formal. Just that. Should I wear a black tie? Check out our video on dress codes where we talk about different options. Quick answer when in doubt, ask the host, because formal can range at a very wide scale. You know, formal back in the day used to be white tie. Today, for many people, it means you wear a blazer. So figure that out. Love your content. Thank you. Will you do a house tour? I may, at some point in time, do that. We don't live in a small house, so it may take a little while. Had Antonio here the other day. He was like, man, I could host Menfluential here. And while he was joking, of course, we'll figure it out. Antonio from Real Men, Real Style, in case you don't know, he just headed over to Hawaii. And although he lives in Wisconsin, they always fly from Minneapolis. So when he does, he sometimes drops by. So with the family over, lasagna dinner with his 1 son and 3 daughters and wife. I love your positivity. Good. Are Charvet ties worth the cost? Charvet is a wonderful store at the Place Vendôme in Paris. I was just there. We spent 3 weeks in Paris. It is a nice store. They certainly know what they do. They have a lot of jacquard ties, and the styling is not quite mine, but it's certainly not a crappy tie. It's a good quality tie. Love from India, very good. Hi from Hungary. Thanks for the fashion tips. Yeah, Hungary is a beautiful country too. They have a very good paprika. So I have a bunch of paprika, and they have good craftsmen there too. So I liked it a lot. Satin or grosgrain for tuxedo lapels. I have both. I like both. I'd love to have one with a really wide rip grosgrain, like the one we do for a bow tie. I don't have that yet. I have finer grosgrain and satin, but I think moire could also look really cool. We also have a section about a dull silk, which is a vintage thing. You can check out an article. I think we just published it today. So it's on the website. Liebe Grüße aus Wien. How to smoke like a gentleman. Yes, I'm not a smoker, so we could consider doing that in a way, but it would be an interesting topic, I guess. Any material explain color, skin, hair color? Yes, we have that. We have advice on how to match clothing to your skin tone. You know, sometimes before you ask a question, it really makes sense to just use the search function either on the website or in YouTube, because we've done a lot, and chances that what you're looking for has already been covered are relatively high, actually. So, moire, great idea. Yeah, we have some moire accessories. What do you think of Charles Turwit ties? You know, I don't have them myself, so Charles Turwit, they're more like a lower-end, entry-level kind of supplier. I think they're rather thick ties, which is not something I personally like a whole lot. Cheers from Minneapolis. Yes, hi, I'm in Minneapolis here right now as well. Should patent shoes be reserved for tuxedo or to purpose for the nice suit out of town? Patent leather shoes are very much evening shoes because they reflect the light more so than a polished shoe. And because of that, I personally would wear them just with black tie or white tie. I wouldn't wear them with a suit, but of course, each to his own. Video on beachwear. Yeah, maybe. Greetings from Nepal. Nice. How to match shoes with dress. We did a few of those. We also did one on how to match the socks with pants and shoes, which is quite interesting because you rarely ever wear just shoes with pants. Usually you have socks. So that's something be good. I heard you're German. Is that true? Yes, it's true. In fact, actually, I was born in Germany. My father is from Brazil, and I moved to the US, so I'm a citizen of each of those countries, and I have a passport from Brazil, Germany, and the US. Are all of the tuxedos you own vintage? In fact, Yes, they are. Well, not quite. I have some dinner jackets that are custom made, and I love vintage for what it is. But as you kind of grow your wardrobe and you want very special things and you appreciate the fit, you gravitate more towards custom made things. That being said, I still have the majority of my wardrobe that is vintage, not made for me, and I still wear it, even though I'm not 100% in love with the fit sometimes, but it's just a special fabric or something. And yeah, it's kind of how I started. Those are my roots, and I haven't forgotten those. Greetings from Denmark. Hello from Brazil. Oh, tudo bem. How do you educate yourself about all things gentlemanly? It's a good question. You know, it's in books, right? It is in magazines, but also in real life. I try to meet people, and if you want to understand how we interpret the gentleman lifestyle, I suggest you check out the video on what it means to be a gentleman today, because it really covers the essence of how we interpret it and what we think it means. Do you know good vintage stores in Berlin? There are tons of vintage stores in Berlin. I went to one and I think even bought a pair of cufflinks. I can't recall the name from the top of my head. I'd suggest you just use Yelp, because there's tons of them and sometimes you can find really cool things. Yeah. Yeah, I think in Charlottenburg you can find a few for sure. And then in other places you may have more luck or not, but some are more specialized in vintage things. Yeah, vintage fabric is cool because it's heavy and it drapes differently, and oftentimes the color scheme is very different. I think the finishing quality of fabrics is much better today, but oftentimes they make them very lightweight, they weave them differently, and so it drapes not as nicely, in my opinion. Gentlemen's cars. Yes, maybe we could do that sometime. But is there a video about wearing vests without a suit jacket? It's a style that's a little more casual. We could cover that in a future video. Is it true that Boutonnieres are only for bachelors and married men should only wear ties? No, that is a myth. Show us Mont Blanc. We already did. Check out the Meisterstück. Oh, you mean right now? Yeah, I think I have something right here. And yeah, I have one right here. Can you do a video on wines? Yeah, we could probably. Changes over time. Piece on pocket watches. We did a guide on pocket watches on the website, so check that out. If you remember in St. Paul, Minnesota, yeah, I lived there. It's not far from you. Love to have lunch. Yeah, maybe we can do that sometime. Maybe we'll even do an event here sometime and try to kickstart that. That would be really cool. Yeah, so if you have any more black tie questions, what to wear, I can point you in the right directions. We have the guide now on the website. Just head over to gentlemansgazette.com, check out our black tie guide, white tie guide, and everything else you want to know, you can get to it. On top here, we added that new point black tie guide. If you scroll down on the homepage, there's black tie, white tie, and morning wear guide, so you can check all of those out as well. Which country are you? I think you came in later. I was born in Germany, but we already covered that. 18-year-old wearing suits, yes or no? It depends on the occasion, but yes, you can wear it. Wow, guys, you're just having so many questions. It's actually super hard to read because they're just popping in so fast. Usually I have my wife Teresa here just to go through and monitor it. That way it's easier. I can also scroll, so that works. Keep up the great work. Merry Christmas to everyone. Good. Chevette straight razor. You know, we actually have a full shaving guide that we created. We'll see what we do with that. Kannst du mal ein Video auf Deutsch machen? Can you make a video in German? I could, but I mean, what's the point, right? When we started, we had Gentleman's Gazette in German and in English. Then I realized it took a lot of time to just write everything twice. And at the end of the day, the people in Germany who are interested in the stuff we do speak English well, and they can read it well and understand it well. So making a video in German, I mean, never say never, but it's just kind of pointless. Pilot Metropolitan, good. Yeah, we're doing some more fountain pen videos here right now. Preston is actually filming something on clothes cleaning and clothes maintenance right now in an entire series, so stay tuned for that. There's new knowledge in there and really good stuff where you can use cool tips and you don't have to go to a dry cleaner, including washing your suit jackets in a washing machine. Yes, you heard me right. Washing your suit jacket in a washing machine. We did it with my stuff, and it comes out beautifully, and it's less hard on it than bringing it to the dry cleaner. So stay tuned. It's going to be a really cool series. How to buy the right clothes, how to search for it properly when you buy vintage clothes. Well, know your measurements and then ask before you buy. That helps you getting something that is rather close. Would you ever try to start an American PT Uomo? That's actually a funny question. I think I would not make it more about PT Uomo, because PT Uomo technically is just about buying and selling for the trade. Just in recent years, it has become more of a peacock runway for dandies who want to show off their sense of style and fashion. We do different events. I could see us doing white tie dinners or black tie dinners, more like smaller events where you can interact with people rather than just huge big events. Merry Christmas to everyone. Pocket watches. Okay, people seem to like pocket watches. Love the addition of Preston to the team. How did you find him? We actually just did a video on our website looking for people, and he lived locally, and he comes to work every day wearing a hat, and so he just naturally aligned with who we are and what we do, which is the kind of person we want in our company, right? We want people who have a deep passion for what we do, not someone who just wants to collect a paycheck. And Preston fits that bill very well. Really enjoy your channel. Congratulations, successful channel. Proper to pair different colors of boutonnieres with a tuxedo. Good question. Back in the day, a lot of people just were black and white. But if you look at Fred Astaire sometimes or so, they would start adding like red carnations and different colors. And it is nice to wear maybe a colorful accent in a black tie ensemble. Just make sure the surroundings of it are black. So maybe if you have a pocket square that is red, don't wear a boutonniere that is purple, right? Get a white boutonniere, and if you have colorful socks, keep that as your accent. Just be careful with your accents in black tie, and a boutonniere is a wonderful way to do that. Personally, I like to wear like slight pink or purple or yellow. I rarely wear just white because I like that little dash of color. How can you dress elegantly when it's 104? Obviously, you're not going to wear a three-piece suit when it's so warm. We did a bunch of things about, sport coat for hot weather, how to dress when it's hot outside. So please check out these resources. They should answer your question. What do you think of brands like Christian and J. Butler? Christian, I don't know, there are many Christian brands out there. J. Butler, we did something about them. You can check out some loafer videos. You will hear what I have to say about them. I love your Mont Blancs. Mine arrive on January 7th. Meisterstück 145. Well, good, have fun. Want to wear a morning dress and white tie at my wedding. However, anyone in my country has black tie. What could I do? Frankly, I live in the US, and that's what I did. And if you check out the pictures in the guide, you'll actually see wedding pictures of what I wear on my wedding day. But I started out with a morning coat, black and silver tie, and then I changed my outfit midday to white tie, because then we had an evening wedding, and we had actually a big band. We were at the St. Paul Hotel. It was marvelous. Our first dance was like a swing dance, and we had a lot of fun. Do you wear a suit when you travel on planes? It depends. If it's like a shorter trip, I may wear a suit. More often than not, I wear a combination of sorts. If it's like a warmer time of the year, I sometimes have seersuckers or like a a jacket with lots of pockets because you have a lot of stuff. And if I travel with my family, right, and I have to carry the stroller and the baby bed and 5 suitcases and stuff, you need to be able to do that in a functional way. And that being said, stay tuned for a video on what you do in a sartorial emergency, because we traveled recently and Delta lost 3 out of 5 checked pieces of luggage, among them my suitcase, of course. And I'll tell you what I did and how it worked out, because I was headed to be the best man of my best friend's wedding. So yeah, that being said, so what I can say is it pays to always dress well and not dress like a slob, otherwise you may be in trouble. How to host a dinner party. Yes, we would do a video on that, simply because it's cool. We already have guides on it on the website, so you can check it out. And I think we're hitting a 30-minute mark here, so I think I'm gonna call it quits, otherwise it just gets too long and people are not interested and they're dropping off. That being said, would love to see your personal dressing room and closet storage area. Yes, you can do that. Actually, right now it's kind of a transition phase because we have a big room that we want to use for the closet, but it's actually so heavy. We did like the planning, and it wouldn't be so heavy that probably the clothes would be more at 4,000 to 5,000 pounds. So we brought in a structural engineer, and we probably have to reinforce the floors before we can do that. So it'll be a bigger project, but I'll make that part of a video. I'm sure people would love to see it. Are you familiar with Kevin and Howland in Dublin? No, I'm not. I haven't been to Dublin, but I probably should be going there. Fortnite is better than Fort Belvedere. Okay, I don't know Fortnite. How to get involved with Gentleman's Gazette? You know, there is a contact form, so if you really feel you have something to add to us and you are a perfect fit, let us know. We're big believers in hiring for things we actually want to do and know. At the same time, you know, if there's a chance to do things like buying the black tie guide, then we jump on it, right? So if there's a really cool person who feels like they would be a good fit for us, then we hire them. And we are hiring, you know, we'll bring on probably a video person in the new year, full time on here. We can also do photography, you know, product styling. We want to up our video quality, do more outside shoots, more lookbook kind of stuff, and have that completely with a dedicated in-house person so they really understand what we do. Because it's quite hard to find someone who is really good at the video game, but also knows classic men's clothing. And more often than not, it means we just have to teach them a lot. Fortnite is a game. Okay, all right. Well, I haven't played it. One game I played recently, which I liked a lot, was Evolution. Evolution Climate was something of it, so I can recommend that. It was really fun. Otherwise, I like to play Settlers of Catan. If anyone of you has played it, it's a cool thing. Black Tie NYC? Sure. Got the book Vogue 6 Decades of Fashion. Do you know that book? I don't have it because Vogue is more women's fashion oriented. I'm into men's fashion and style clothing and the history of it. What fountain pens do you have? Watch the videos. I mentioned it there. Would you hire from outside the US? For remote work, absolutely. We have a very international team. If you wanted to come here, we probably would work remotely, figure out if you're a perfect fit, and then if that's the case, then we could talk about bringing you here. As you can imagine, with the current administration in the US, it's not easy to hire foreigners in the US. Should a gent learn how to ballroom dance? Yes, it's a lot of fun to know how to dance. Women generally love it. I just took some dance classes with my wife, and it is fun. Actually, a studio here in my house is a former ballroom, so we could even like practice and dance here, but we use it mostly as a studio, but there's still enough space, I guess. Show your shoes collection. I already did. We have a video. Könntest du einmal Deutsch sprechen? Selbstverständlich. Ich habe es nicht verlernt. Do gentlemen eat booty? Well, I'll leave that up to you. Any plans of collaboration with Kirby Allison at the Hanger Project? You know, it's a funny story. Kirby Allison was actually the very first advertiser at the Gentleman's Gazette in like 2010. And he was like, yeah, cool what you do, let's work together. And then he wanted a long-term contract, and I was like, yeah, let's do that. And then he just decided he wanted to stop paying, right? And was like, dude, what's going on? He was like, yeah, we have a hard time in the business, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, yeah, I don't want to, work with people who don't keep their word, because that's what gentlemen do, right? They keep their word. And then Antonio from Real Men Real Style, he was talking to me and saying, hey, Kirby Ellison approached me about working with him. I said, you can do what you want. This was my experience, and happened in the same way, right? He just stopped paying him, and it's just not a gentlemanly way to do business. And what Kirby Ellison does doesn't really bother me. He can do whatever he wants. I just know that I don't want to work with people like that. You can call me a Dutch gentleman, better than English. Do you watch Nobel Prize? I get angry how they get the waistcoat. Yeah, the right height. Yeah, that is sad. That being said, there was a very short period in the 1920s in Germany where the tailcoat fronts came together so closely that it was appropriate to show a little bit of white waistcoat at the bottom, but that's not the case at the Nobel Prize ceremony, and most people just wear it too long, unfortunately. Hypebeast Raphael video soon. That would be funny indeed. So anyhow, thank you for jumping in. Thank you for supporting the Gentleman's Gazette by watching our videos. And of course, the best way to support us is to buy our products or buy our goods, because that way we can invest more money into content creation. We can hire more people like Preston. But if you can't, that's okay. Come to the website, enjoy the content, and maybe you have someone else who you can refer to it. And that's all we're asking for. Now, check out the Black Tie Guide, and I would love, love, love to see outfits from Gentleman's Gazette readers. And I think we're going to do an installment and have a gallery of all the black tie outfits that you guys put together. So stay tuned for that. We'll maybe we'll add it to a form where you can attach something, or you can just send us an email to contact@gentlemansgazette.com with your photo, and then we'll put them on the website. We'll put them probably in our social media stuff. And of course, you get bonus points if you wear a Fort Belvedere bow tie. But if you don't, we'll still put it up. No worries. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. And stay tuned for more awesome video content in 2019. Of course, there's also a few good things here in the old year. But like I said, we filmed all of that already. We're now working on content for quarter 2. So it'll be fun. Stay tuned. Bye-bye.